Shalom. This is your brother Shemayala coming back at you again with another video. First, I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and thanksgiving to Yahweh, Bahashem HaMashiach Yahushai, and peace and blessings to the whole Lot. What I want to get into real quick, man, is is a misunderstanding, I think, on who the tribe of Gad is. You know what I'm saying? We under the assumption that these so-called Mongoloids, and I say so-called because some people get offended when we use the term Mongoloid. Until we come to a proper understanding on who the so-called Mongoloids are, I'ma just say so-called. So that's what we do all the time when we refer to specific people in which we have no real understanding on who we're speaking about. You know what I'm saying? But such isn't the case with certain things. We know who so-called blacks are and all that. But anyway, there's a misunderstanding on who the so-called tribe of Gad is, I believe. And just want to kind of bring out some information on that. Maybe brothers will get some understanding on the real truth. All right. But here you see on the screen is a lesson about the Olmecs, okay, and the Toltecs and all of that. It's by a brother named Kazakban Yashala. Alright, it's called The Lesson. Olmecs, Toltec, and Natchez, Igbos, Bantus, Black Caribs, Negroes. Alright. Now, what you about to see is this brother's about to go into this book. These two brothers called Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Okay, it's the same book brother's been using for years to break down the tribes, okay, which is being used in this breakdown. Okay, the original and best breakdown of the 12 tribes chart revisited. Alright, I think Army of Israel headquarters. Alright. Which is just to upload the brother, upload it. But they've been using the book for years, you know what I'm saying, and they've been using the book to prove who the so-called Native Americans are, you know what I'm saying, the tribe of Gad. Now I want you to pay attention when I play these videos. I want you to notice how Nathaniel, he'll say he's going to start reading from page 363 in this book of Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, okay, by Ronald Sanders. But when you take notice, he actually does not read. He doesn't start reading from page 366. He starts reading from page 364. And why is that important? You're gonna see. Because these brothers here, when they do the breakdown, they start reading from page 363. And what you find out when you hear them read page 363 in the same book, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, okay, you will find out that the Indian guy Francisco, okay, who was leading Montesinos through the area of Quito, which is in Brazil, okay, or South America somewhere. The Indian guy told Montesinos, okay, he told him that his Indian people, so badly mistreated the holy people. Okay, now just listen. Well, let me start with Nate's video of the original 12 tribes breakdown. Alright, pay close attention.
What are we about to read? Records. These are not mythical stories, these are records. And we're going to go to page 363 that further discusses.
See, he says they're going to go to page 363, but they don't. But watch.
The tribe of Reuben. I'm actually going to start at page 364 and 365. You can read from 363 to 343. So what are we about to read? Records.
Alright, like I said, he's going to read. He's not going to even go to page 363. Alright, but watch.
These are not mythical stories, these are records. And we're going to go to page 363 that further discusses the tribe of Reuben. I'm actually going to start at page 364 and 365. You can read from 363 to 365 on your own.
You see? So, excuse me. They totally skip page 363. Now, why is that? Okay, let's find out. Okay. We're gonna find out what's on page 363 in the book Lost Tribes and Promised Land by Ronald Sanders. Okay. Matter of fact, let's just continue with this right here.
I'm gonna sum it up briefly. There's a white man by the name of Montezinos. Okay, he was a Marano, meaning he was a converted Jew. Okay, a white man that converted to Judaism, and he was thinking about the native Indians. Okay, and this is what he says. It says, those Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews. Okay.
Now remember, he started to read off of page 364. Now to me, there's a biased perspective on who the Indians are, the so-called Indians. Because here we got the original breakdown. Okay. The original breakdown is being taught to us that the Indians are Israelites. Right? It's being taught to us that the Indians are the so-called tribe of Gad. You know what I'm saying? The so-called Indians are the tribe of Gad. But see, one page makes a whole difference. You know what I'm saying? If you cutting out information from a page previously, okay, from a previous page that you're not reading on, then you're not giving the whole full scope of what should be taught. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's continue.
Eventually, so what happened here, I'm just going to skip all the way down. He goes out to find out about the Indians. He's in South America. This is before they had fully migrated up to the southern coast of the Americas.
So you see, they in South America when he's reading from page 364. They already in South America. All right.
He gets in a canoe. He goes over to where the Indians are. And this is the situation as follows. Eventually a canoe appeared, bearing 3 men and a woman, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco, which is the Indian guide, and Montezinos, the white man, were standing at the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montezinos could not understand, Hebrew, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned...
See, this is the thing too. If these people were actually Indians that got off the canoe, then why would Francisco say on page 363, which I'm gonna show y'all, that they so badly mistreated the holy people? Why would he say that about his own people? You know what I'm saying? I think there's a misunderstanding on who the actual tribes are, whether they be Indian or Negro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he would make that statement on the previous page, okay, if those people were actually Indians. Okay.
Turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they arose, went over to Montezinos, and said, to his utter astonishment, said, I'm going to read it just as they have it. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Ehad, which is Yiddish. What they really said is Shema Yasha'ala Yahweh Alahayanawa Yahweh Ahad. Ahad, meaning, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby. The tribe of Joseph, meaning Manasseh and Ephraim, okay, which are Manasseh being the Cubans, and Cuban Indians, and Ephraim, who are the so-called Puerto Ricans. Right, the Tainos and the Boricuas. Okay, I'm going to read on. Francisco told Montezinos all he knew about them from his own traditions. His ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made war on them and persecuted them.
So you see, he skipped some of the passage. Okay, he goes back to page 363. All right, but I want to get that this video right here. These brothers bring out the information in the same book. Okay. Now they read from page 363 in the book. Okay, they start reading from page 363, and the Indian God tells Montezinos, okay, they so badly treated our holy people. All right. Now listen up.
Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders. Okay? And we're going to show you, we're going to prove why this book is so expensive. Okay? It's not because they found some Indians that could say the Shema, but it's because the Indians themselves told them that they were not the children of Israel. And they actually persecuted the children of Israel. Okay? Now this is page 363, the same chapter everyone uses to try to prove that the Indians are Israelites. We're going to show, all you have to do is read the whole chapter for yourself. Okay, and you'll see that they even make the distinction that they are not the Israelites. Alright, page 363.
But before we get into it, I want to say one more time. Montezino saw 3 Indians get out of a canoe, right? Which is kind of it's a contradiction to me, because if he saw Indians come out of the canoe and the Indian God said his people persecuted the Indians or holy people, then those people that came off of that canoe was supposed to be that holy people. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Francisco was leading Montezinos to these people, the children of Israel. But continuing on, check out what they say.
Lost Tribes and Promised Land, page 363.
Okay, now remember what we just read in Crania Americana. Okay, the monuments at Banake and Tiahuanaco and the unbaked bricks that was there were built by the ancient inhabitants of Quito. Quito. Go ahead.
2.5 years before, he told them, while traveling in the wild mountains of Quito.
So here we are, these guys, page 363, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, traveling through the wild mountains of Quito, right? Where we know that the ancient inhabitants of Tiahuanaco and Banake, who were the Toltecs and the Olmecs, left their monuments and the proof of their existence. So here we are in the same place, the mountains of Quito.
He had heard some of his Indian guides remark that the natives of that country,
The Mexicans, the Peruvians of that country,
deserved all the suffering that they had undergone at the hand of the Spaniards.
so they even acknowledged that they deserved everything that they had undergone at the hands of the Spaniards. Why?
When he asked them to explain who they thought such a thing, they had replied mysteriously that it was because we so badly treated a holy people.
So why would they say that? You know what I'm saying? If they were actually the people of the book, man, you know, why would they make that reference to another people if they were actually the people themselves? You know, and this is why they did not read page 363 and the other 12 tribes breakdown. That's why Nate skipped it. Okay, I'm gonna show you again. Because they knew if they read that page, there will be a confusion or misunderstanding on what they're reading. They could not tell you completely that Indians are the Israelites. Okay, listen to what he say.
And we're going to go to page 363 that further discusses the tribe of Reuben. I'm actually going to start at page 364.
You see, he said I'm gonna actually start at page 364. Now the brothers is reading from page 363 in this breakdown. So when you hear what they say from page 363 in the same book, it clearly tells you that the Indians made a remark that they deserve everything they get from the Spaniards because they so badly mistreated the holy people. Now, if they actually the holy people, why would they say that about themselves? Wouldn't make no sense to me. Maybe somebody could clear it up. But let's continue.
The greatest in the world.
That's a quote, okay, from Indian, the Francisco guy. Okay? He says they deserve everything that they suffered at the hands of the Spaniards because they so badly treated a holy people. The greatest in the world. Okay, go ahead.
Nothing more had been offered by them on this point.
And you know, they had to be implying the Olmecs, man. Okay, they couldn't been talking about themselves. It wouldn't have made sense. Unless the Indians were lying to deceive Montesinos, because, you know, maybe they didn't want them to actually find their people, you know. But who knows, man? It's, you know, everybody teaching something different, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you gotta you know, peel back the layers for yourself, man, you know. But anyway, let's continue.
But later in some conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guides, had declared that his countrymen would be avenged upon the Spaniards in time anyway.
This is another quote, okay?
By means of a people now hidden.
Who's those hidden people? Could it be the lost tribes of Israel? Let's find out, okay? He said, you know what? We're going to be avenged anyway at the hands of a people now hidden. Whose nationality was hidden from him?
So the Indian saying himself, they're going to be avenged of a people, avenged by people that are now hidden. He wasn't even talking about his own people. He was talking about the people they went to war with, who they persecuted. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I think y'all got a pretty good, take a pretty good guess at it by now. Go ahead.
The two references apparently were to the same people.
Okay? He understood that those two references, that special people, that holy people that they so badly treated, and the people who would avenge the Indians upon the Spaniards were to the same people. Okay? That reference was to the same people.
And all this is off page 363, man. Okay, you see why Nate didn't read it. Alright, let me go back, show you. Okay. You know, I ain't making this up. Listen.
And we're going to go to page 363 that further discusses the tribe of Reuben. I'm actually going to start at page 364 and 365. You can read from 363 to 365 on your own.
See, you can read it on your own, but when you try to get the book, it's damn near hundreds of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So they were discussing the tribe of Reuben. Okay. So they saying Reuben is Indians, but brothers right here saying that the tribe of Reuben and Olmecs and Negroes, man. That's their argument. So somebody lying, man, you know. But let's continue, man. You know, they didn't read page 363. Why did they read page 363? Even if you don't believe the Olmecs and Negroes, all Negroes are the Israelites, all 12 tribes are Negroes, even if you don't believe that, there's clearly a bias perspective being taught between some brothers and other brothers. Okay? So somebody withholding info, man. Alright, let's continue.
Let's go to page 364. Next page, right at the bottom.
So now these brothers going to page 364. Okay. So you see they clearly read page 363. Now they going to page 364 whereas Nate and them, Banyamyan, okay, did not start on page 363. Alright, let's continue.
Another page. Francisco told Montesinos.
Francisco told Montesinos all he knew about these people from his own traditions.
Okay, so here's Francisco telling Montesinos. Francisco's an Indian. This Montesinos, I've identified him as Jewish. Okay, not a real Israelite, but he's a Jewish guy going around searching out for the Israelites, trying to find them so that they can come and enslave them. Okay, so Francisco told Montesinos all he knew, right, about those people.
His ancestors, to their eternal shame.
His Indian ancestors, to their eternal shame.
And
You see, these brothers is reading about what the Indian guy told Montesinos about his people. Alright? Now, I want you to take notice. Nate skips that particular part to make it seem like the Indians that he already read about who said the Shemai, okay, are the ones that were persecuted. Alright, let me try and find it real quick.
Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They had recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of Judaism. They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby. The tribe of Joseph, meaning Manasseh and Ephraim, okay, which are Manasseh being the Cubans and Cuban Indians, and
Watch how he goes into talking about how they were persecuted, but those remarks were not towards the Indians. Okay.
and Ephraim were the so-called Puerto Ricans. Right, the Tainos and the Boricuas. Okay, I'm going to read on. Francisco told Montesinos all he knew about them from his own traditions. His ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made war on them and persecuted.
So you see, kind of skipping some. Let me go back with this.
Bottom of the page. Francisco told Montesinos.
Francisco told Montesinos,
See,
Indians and Ephraim, who are the so-called Puerto Ricans. Right, the Tainos and the Boricuas. Okay, I'm going to read on. Francisco told Montesinos all he knew about them from his own traditions. His ancestors, to their eternal shame, had indeed made war on them and persecuted them. Only the sorcerers.
oh, let's read. Let's watch.
Bottom of the page. Francisco told Montesinos.
Francisco told Montesinos all he knew about these people from his own traditions.
Okay, so here's Francisco telling Montesinos. Francisco's an Indian. This Montesinos, I've identified him as Jewish. Okay, not a real Israelite, but he's a Jewish guy going around searching out for the Israelites, trying to find them so that they can come and enslave them. Okay, so Francisco told Montesinos all he knew, right, about those people.
His ancestors, to their eternal shame.
His Indian ancestors, to their eternal shame.
So you see, the Indian god is telling Montesinos about his traditions, okay, of his people, and he's talking about his own people, about what they did to the holy people, man. Listen.
Had indeed made war on them.
Man, they indeed made war on them. And did what?
And persecuted them.
Persecuted them. Okay, they made war on the Olmecs and the Toltecs. And they persecuted them. Remember, this is in the mountains of Quito. Okay, where we have already established that the Olmecs and the Toltecs had the most ancient civilization. And then the Indians come along, and what happens? Okay, they made war on us. They persecuted us. And I have the record of that war as well. Go ahead and read that from the top, that quote. His ancestors.
His ancestors, to their eternal shame. and indeed made war on them and persecuted them. Only the sorcerers of his tribe had perceived that they were a special people and had given warning that they should be left alone.
Okay, so it says only the sorcerers. We just gonna say only their spiritual guides, okay, had knew, gave them warning that we were a special people, and had warned them that they should leave us alone. Okay, or leave the Olmecs and the Toltecs, okay, the original inhabitants of the land, to leave them alone. Listen to what else they say.
The God of those children of Israel,
The God of these children of Israel. These are the Indians saying that they persecuted the children of Israel, that they made war on the children of Israel. Okay, who were the people? It was the Olmecs and the Toltecs. Now here we have the Indians saying that those were the children of Israel. We made war on them. We persecuted them.
So you see that there's clearly something that ain't right with the teaching of the original lesson of the 12 tribes. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't thoroughly expounded upon when they came out with this book to prove who the Indians are, or who the Israelites are, period. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, man. You gotta really do the research. You know, you ain't gonna watch a couple GMS videos or IUIC videos and UPK or whatever camp out there, then you don't get all of the truth, man. You just ain't. Okay? But that's a profound statement that this Indian made. Okay? Because if they were actually the people, why would he make all of these references or comments towards the Olmecs? Okay? That's what you got to think about. Continuing on.
Okay, go ahead. The God of these children of Israel.
the God of these children of Israel is the true God. They had said, and everything inscribed on their tablets is true.
And everything inscribed in our tablets is true.
At the end of days, they will be lords of all the nations of the earth.
At the end of days, we will be lords of all the nations of the earth. Okay? I got all kinds of scriptures running through my mind that attest to that. Okay? Prophecies on top of prophecies. Alright? And these Indians knew. Okay? They knew we were the children of Israel. And that we would go and reign over the whole earth. Go ahead.
One nation will come bringing many things to this land. And after we have all been provided for, these children of Israel will go forth from where they now are and reign over the whole earth as they once did.
So they knew that there was a time when we reigned over the whole earth. That's why you can find evidence of us in Europe, evidence of us in China, in Japan, in India, okay, in America, North, Central, South America, everywhere. Okay, the Most High dispersed us over all the nations of the earth. Okay, and right here where he says they shall go forth from where they now are. Okay, that's where we at now, in our enemy's land. And the day is coming, we're going to leave these lands, when the Most High is going to bring plagues upon these lands. Okay, and he's going to deliver us from the hands of our enemies and from all those that hate us. And we're going to reign again over the whole earth as we once did. Alright, now we're going to get this, read that reference about that war again. And then we're going to get the record of that war.
Francisco told Montesinos all he knew about these people from his own traditions. His ancestors, to their eternal shame, and indeed made war on them and persecuted them.
You see? Francisco told Montesinos all he knew, okay, about these people. Well, let me take it back. You know what I'm saying? because you got to pay attention to how it's being read. Because when you watch it with when Nate and Banyamin do it, it's like it's being bounced around, pieces being cut and clipped here and there and edited. You know what I'm saying? But here, these brothers, they reading it page for page. They going from one page to the next, so you get the full dose of it. You know what I'm saying? But listen to what Francisco say to Montesinos.
Eternal shame, and indeed made
Hold up.
Montesinos all he knew about these people. And then we're going to get the record of that war.
Listen up.
Francisco told Montesinos all he knew about these people from his own traditions, his ancestors, to their eternal shame, and indeed made war on them and persecuted them. Okay.
So if they was actually, these Indians was actually Israelites, why would they persecute their own people who were supposedly Indians themselves? But they wasn't actually Indians, they were Negroes. Okay? You ain't gonna persecute your own people. What kind of damn sense does that make? I don't get it. I don't get it myself. I don't know. But he clearly said they made war on them, man. Okay, and you know, this was a good lesson by this brother, man. These two brothers here, you know, you could finish it up. And this is just part one. It's about 2 hours and something, 20 minutes long. So you know what I'm saying, check it out, man. You know. Again, I'm gonna go back to what Nate said. They skipped page 363, man. You know what I'm saying? Why they withholding info? Listen.
And we're going to go to page 363 that further discusses the tribe of Reuben. I'm actually going to start at page 364 and 365. You can read from 363 to 365 on your own. I'm going to sum it up briefly. There's a white man.
See, you could read it on your own. But if you can't afford the book, then you asked out, huh? I guess so. But anyway, I wanted to bring that up, man. You know, even if, like I said, you don't believe Negroes, all the 12 tribes of Negroes, you got to clearly, you know, accept the fact that they being biased. They not bringing out all the information from this book to give you a better, you know, a decision making ability to discern for yourself what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? So they withholding info. You know what I mean? But anyway, wanted to bring that out. And that's it, man. You know, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and all praises, glory, honor, and thanksgiving to Yahweh, Bahashema Mashiach Yahushua. Alright, Shalom.